but also I'll add this to it. Don't feel you have to do it alone. Like something I wish when I was getting knocked down or finding challenges and navigating, you know, get some help, whether it be a business coach or whatever it might look like, a friend.
Sure.
Like I go to a Saturday morning group of men where we're all entrepreneurs and just good hearted humans that are trying to help each other out. Find something. Um, but also, excuse me, like, and if it's people you know, great. If it's somebody new, there's, oh my God, in my industry, and I'm probably in every industry at this point, there's such a plethora of everybody's an expert now, right? So really like do your research and check your reviews. Don't just hire somebody off some really good ads because they just might be really good at ads and have no real experience. So do your due diligence. But no, you might even mistake on that. So just like pick yourself back up from that. So I'll say that like grow through your adversity. Life is full of experiences. So there's things that you might be in right now. For example, here's number two. I would say is you may not seem like it'll aid or help later on, but it just might. And what I mean by that, I'll give some examples for mine. So I went back. So I was living in Kentucky, managing some businesses, and I went back to Western Illinois because I went to college in Kentucky, and I went back to Western Illinois because my parents were both going through cancer. My dad prostate, my mom had a brain tumor, and they needed help. And I'm the youngest of two brothers, and I honestly like for some weird reason I was like, oh well, I want to mix things up, trade. And this sounds so ADD, but I was like, I want to get a job at a TV station. Sounds so random, but I felt called to do this, and I followed my intuition and gut a lot, and it's always paid off. Maybe not in the short term, but in the long term. Anyways, that's where I met my wife, which has gotten to me to where I am in life because she's been an amazing counterpart partner in life. But that's not the end of it. Like the TV skills and the interview skills and all that stuff has aided into a lot of things. I have a successful YouTube channel. I do have a podcast myself. Just communicating with people, telling stories, even. So
Mhm.
it seemed random at the time. I'm not saying go do random stuff either, but like look back on your past and never have the idea of like don't ignore it. Your story is your story, I've written two books out of my stories, and some of your most painful stuff, I would say your most painful stuff is probably what's going to get you to the next level. There's probably some purpose in that. There's probably some message in that, but a lot of people, especially men and business owners, sometimes we chase these things and ignore all that because we don't want to address it, whether it be like childhood trauma, like I've gone through, or some other painful past. But some of that could be what catapults you to the next level. So use that as a tool.
Yeah.
And so that would be my second one. I mean, like I said, I could say a lot here. Um, but also, I guess I've already said another one is remember why you're doing it. Like write down I like, and you should change this list pretty regularly. Like, what do you enjoy and why do you enjoy it and what do you want your life to look like? Like, you should write these things down. These are things I do regularly because because motivation will end and you need something that's going to keep you going. There'll be days where you want to procrastinate, especially when you're running on your own time schedule and you don't have have somebody like a boss telling you what to do. If you're an entrepreneur, you got to set your own timetables. And if you want to be productive, you got to be productive in the days you don't want to be productive. And that's always going back to your list of why you're doing what you're doing, your list of what motivates you, what do you enjoy, what do you want your life to look like. And so write these down. They're going to change, they're going to evolve. Um, and then just always come back to them.
Yeah. Man, that was a great value dump. I hope everybody was taking some notes there because good little value dump on life and getting somewhere. And hey, at the end of the day, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's what I always say is just don't take steps backwards. Just you keep doing that. I mean, there's a lot of things to do after that, but I mean, that's a hell of a good start for sure.
In my first book, I talk about the four F's, which is you probably heard in some other, but it was from my perspective, and it's faith, fitness, finances, and family,
Hmm.
whatever that looks like to you. Again, faith could be different, but it's like every day I look at those four, and am I doing something to improve at least 1%? It's usually more, but if you hold yourself accountable to that, like you're gonna see it be in the present, like use the past as a tool, but don't live in it. And if you're thinking too far ahead in the future, you want to think in the future, but you could get lost and it could also hold you at a stand. So just like you just
Yeah.
said, put one foot forward every day.
Yeah, that's it, man. Well, hey, how do you want people to connect with you, to work with you, to find the things you're doing, so on and so forth?
I'm a human, so you can reach out to me. Like I'm not going to be anything, but yeah, I pretty active on Instagram, which is just at Justin Arnold with an En, so JUSTEN ARNOLD. You could Google that. Honestly, if you Google Justin with an E, you'll find a lot of stuff on me. But that's my website too. JustinArnold.com is my personal website where you can get to my books, which are also on Amazon. But I also have my gym, which is Flex Mobility and Performance, my health and wellness business, and that's with two X's. The website for that is flexxmp.com. You can find that. Same thing for Instagram. I have my gym site there. And then Flex Mobility and Performance, you could type in as well, which will come up with my YouTube channels. And I put links on all these to connect with various things. Like I have a link tree and things of that nature. So I'm sure if you just honestly, if you forgot any of it, if you just type in Justin Arnold with an En, JUSTENARNOLD, you'll find quite a bit of stuff on me. So there's not
Awesome.
too many with an En out there. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Some there's some like I have the most common name ever. I asked a SEO company, "Hey, can you make me number one searchability?" They're like, "You're crazy."
About your middle initial or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we did figure something out, but anyway, so yeah, just to kind of close the show out here, I always like to end with this kind of thought-provoking question, and that is, if you could have invited anybody here today, Justin, just to either be here, participate, whatever, any given time in the world, dead or alive, doesn't even matter. Who's somebody you would have thought would have been pretty cool to have here?
Man, so I've been asked questions not quite like this, and when at the beginning of the show, if you would ask me this, I usually go back to my faith. I am a follower of Jesus. I am a Christian,
Hmm.
and I would have maybe said that, but as I sat here and thought about this, it was something that touched on that made me change. Like it was my kids, man. If I could have all three of my kids sitting here, just listen to this and be motivated, because these are sides of my parents that I'll never see or never know, and they weren't like me, and they weren't motivated. I mean, and so if my kids could really just sit here, hear this, because I don't know if they'll ever watch this, and just get some of the tips and tools and know of the possibilities and the beliefs, and then also just like I said, people could, I'm sure they would throw nuggets out here, and then it would maybe give people faith in the future.
Yeah.
People would have faith in kids hearing what some of my kids have to say. Like sometimes when I hear my kids speak or what they do, I'm like, I am blown away. Like my 11-year-old son, for example, like his ability to communicate, what he's reading, like everything that he's doing at his level. I'm like, man, I was never doing any of this. Plus his positivity, his energy, I was not like that. And so, I hear some people that are, with the way the world's going and they're feeling hopeless. Like there's a good set of kids coming in, because there's men like me out there, and women out there that are like bringing up next generation with power and passion. And so, yeah, I would love them to be here for that too. Just not only for them, but also for all your listeners as well. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, brother, I appreciate you being on the show. I always say we all have the same 168 every week. Thanks for stopping by here for 30 and, just sharing your story with me and sharing your story with thousands and thousands of people every day.
Yeah, thanks so much. I really appreciate your time. And if I could do anything to give people some nuggets for free, there's so much out there, and hopefully it'll make a difference in at least one person's life, then I'm doing my job. So,
Yeah, man. All right, brother. Thanks a lot.
so
Cheers.
much.
Thanks for listening to War Room Moments with your host, Jason Miller. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we'll see you on the next episode.